My wife is going back to Japan for a couple of weeks soon to see family and that, and I'm going to do a few presents for some of the younger kids to take with her. So I'm printing out at the moment a nice kind of like photo frame and a picture of a kookaburra for a girl, but for the boys, there's two boys, doing a couple of mimics. So I've always liked mimics personally, like the idea of them, like creatures that hide in objects. So one is a barrel and the other is a chest. So these guys are printed out, and today I'm just going to rip off the supports and then prime them up. So pretty sure I downloaded these off the Colts website. I'll have to see if I can find in the download section the original creators so that I can credit them when I do my description. So I certainly didn't design these, I just download them from Colts basically. Some stuff I do get from other sites as well, like My Mini Factory, but I'm pretty sure these were Colts. So I downloaded them quite a while ago, and Colts was the first sort of website that I started downloading designs from. I was having some bed adhesion problems for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but anyway, I ended up printing what they call a raft. So basically an area of a couple of layer lines deep that goes down first, and then you print your model on top of the raft. So that means you got like a bit of a brim that you've got to get rid of afterwards. And it does help with adhesion. So I'm doing the same with the photo frame I'm printing out at the moment. I mean, I first thought, oh, I won't need a raft, it's just a flat base for the frame, so it'll be fine. And then, yeah, came into the printer after about 20 minutes or so, and there was just crap everywhere. So, okay, I'll print it with a raft, and it does seem to be, yeah, so far so good. Once you've got like 2-3 mil, you're pretty much good to go. Like, it's set itself on the bed and it's happy, but the initial first layers, if it's going to fail, that's when it's going to fail, more than likely. Not 100%, but you know, like 75% of all your failures are going to be at the start. It's either going to be some kind of flow issue or some kind of adhesion issue. I have printed these models before for my own personal collection, but I was also printing a whole bunch of Mimic dice at the time, so I printed everything kind of like to dice scale. So like these guys, like, you know, maybe 4-5 centimeters high, so like a fraction of these size. But I figured, oh well, if you're making these as like toys for boys, you want them to be a bit bigger, a little bit more impressive. Apparently they're really into dinosaurs as well, so I did look at some like articulated dinosaur designs online, but nothing that really stood out, so it's like, oh well, I'll go with what I know. And I think mimics are cool, so hopefully they'll think mimics are cool. Trying to be a little bit more careful around the teeth, because obviously teeth are easy to break. Jammed in there well good. This thing works so well. It's you know, I still need a hobby knife to cut some things, especially for the de-stringing, but when you're trying to push physical PLA like this, I find you just break your knife more often than not. This gets frustrating with constantly needing to replace the blades, hence why I set this thing up. So it's just a standard flathead screwdriver, and all I did was like bash the end of it a bit with a hammer and kind of flatten that out a bit, and then put it on a grinder and sharpened it up a bit. So I mean, it is kind of like knife-like, but it's not like so sharp that it would just cut you. Not like the hobby knife. You've got to be very careful with those things. I have bled a few times. One of the golden rules with hobby knives, if you can, is always be cutting away from you, not towards you. But yes, that's the theory. It doesn't always work out. Okay, that got it. Stuck in there. There we go. Alrighty, so that's the mimic chest. I'll get out my black cloth and de-string it in a minute and use the craft knife, hobby knife, to cut off all these little bits and bobs, but yeah, that's essentially the chest, and then same thing for the barrel. Much fewer teeth with the barrel design, so should be a quicker support removal. I'll have to go to the smaller one. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Alrighty, well that gives you a good idea of what the mimics are going to look like. So I will just pause this for now. I'll de-string them a bit, and then when I come back I'll prime them. The black cloth works so good for just highlighting the white, tiny little bits of filament. So, yeah, so those are good. Started using this Army Painter primer. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. I found the Vallejo primer to be far too bubbly, like it would actually bubble up on the surface, and a bit too thin, so preferred this one. I'm quite enjoying it. I do prefer a grey primer personally to the black, which seems to be the most popular colour in hobby paints for priming, but personally I find a grey works better for me for whatever reason. So I've got a couple of weeks before my wife heads off, so I've got some time to do these, which is good, but obviously I've got these two mimics plus a large photo frame image. So I've got three things I need to work on, so I'll need to concentrate on getting this done. Usually do the tongues in a really nice pink colour, like a bubblegum sort of pink. Really pops and stands out. I think the boys will enjoy them. So I chose these two particular models because they've got big tongues sticking out. Alright, so that's the top part of the barrel mimic. Let that dry and then I'll do the bottom. Barrel Mimic is a lot easier to paint because it's a lot more open. When you've got enclosed areas like this chest with all the teeth, and there's a lot of teeth here, yeah, obviously it requires a lot of patience and time to kind of get it all looking right, because you've got limited access to move your brush in and out, but the end effect looks pretty cool, I think. So. I'll probably bring the two that I've already done, even though they're a lot smaller, I'll bring them over as a reference, but you know, obviously I may choose to go a different sort of paint scheme. Anyway, there's nothing to say I have to paint them a particular way, but definitely big pink tongues, that's a given. But you tend to have like the dark brown wood colour, because it then makes, like, you know, the teeth, which will probably be a golden or a white kind of colour, makes them pop against the dark background. And the eyes, so this thing has 5 eyes up the top, whereas the barrels are more traditional sort of 2 eyes, but you want them to look creepy because it's a monster. Okie doke. Well, when I come back, these will be all primed and we'll be starting to paint them. Thank you for watching.